Tonight on CTV News, they were uninsured, now they want to be paid out in full. Riccarton Road's ready for a facelift, and Dan Carter hangs up his boots for the Crusaders.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Kia ora, good evening. Canterbury police have recovered the body of a man missing in the Lake Sumner area at the weekend. The hunter was reported missing by family members after not returning home at Sunday lunchtime. Aerial search and rescue teams sighted the body last night but were unable to retrieve it until today due to poor lighting. The death has been referred to the coroner, but investigations are continuing. Well, should the uninsured red zoners be paid as much as those insured? That's what Sarah is now asking the public following the landmark finding by the Supreme Court in March. The jury is still out on how much more they'll get. Marcus Gibbs explains.
Should uninsured red zoners get paid out in full? For the next 2 weeks, Sarah is asking the public about how much more they should get. The Supreme Court ruled in March that a payout of half their 2007 values wasn't enough, and Sarah had to upgrade its offers. Out of the 132 vacant, commercial and uninsured flatland red zone properties offered compensation by Sarah in 2012, 61 have refused. The Quake Outcast group, which successfully brought the Supreme Court precedent to bear, said that it wanted proper compensation. The court found insurance status alone wasn't an acceptable benchmark for the Crown's offer of 50% compensation. It said the Crown's red zoning policy and the well-being of property owners caused by the area's subsequent isolation meant higher compensation was warranted. Sarah now wants the public to consider if they should receive the same as insured red zoners, and underinsured properties also need to be considered. So CTV hit the streets to quiz locals what they think should happen to uninsured property and landowners seeking extra compensation.
Yeah, it wasn't their fault the earthquakes happened, eh? It's just one of those things.
They weren't insured though, should they still get paid?
Hey, there's got to be a bit of humanity somewhere along the line, so yeah, they should.
I think they should get paid out in full.
Why is that?
Well, they've been suffering, haven't they? And especially people in the eastern suburbs.
I don't really know, to be honest. I know that they've helped out people that have had insurance cover but couldn't because they didn't have the need to have it because they're building a new house. But if they've taken no insurance cover, I guess it's a risk that you choose to take.
Well, it creates a moral hazard because most people have insured their homes, and I think that those who buy land, they know that it's supposed to be a land they can't insure it, and that's the risk they took. So that's where I stand on the matter.
I think they still should have their payouts, yes, definitely.
Even though they didn't have insurance at the time?
Well, it's a tough call, isn't it, really? But sometimes people are just unable to do that, so a little bit of compassion would be rather nice.
On the off chance that offers of compensation are higher than the original payouts made to insured property owners, paid out owners would receive top-ups. The government is expected to decide on the compensation amounts mid-year.
It's now the busiest road in the South Island, but what would you like to see Riccarton Road become? Better looking or better for traffic? The options are now up for discussion. After 4 years of earthquake repairs, Canterburyans are well used to traffic delays in Christchurch. Riccarton Road is one of the slowest in the city. In fact, it's the South Island's busiest stretch of roading. But behind the scenes, something is being done. In one of the city's major roading shake-ups, new plans have been drawn up to cater for all types of transport. 2 design options have both been up for public consultation for the last 2 weeks, and the Christchurch City Council has received a large response from road users.
Yes, there's been quite a good response, very positive, I have to say, and we've had so far the preference is for the median and more trees in Riccarton.
And he says the main emphasis of the project is to speed up this slow street.
There'll be bus priority lanes, there'll be some bus jumps at the signals, and there'll be a mixture of bus lanes and general traffic. The priority for Riccarton Road is public transport.
There doesn't seem to be dramatic differences between the 2 proposals. Option A focuses on getting traffic flowing down Riccarton Road, minimising off-street parking but enhancing beautification in the centre. However, option B would continue to see parks down either side of the road and no islands in the centre. City Councillor Clearwater says both options help speed up foot traffic while keeping commuters safe. He's envisioning this project will change the way Canterburyans travel.
We are hoping more people will be on the buses, okay, so there'll be fewer cars, so that when people do need to cycle along Riccarton Road, it'll be safer.
Both options are designed to be cycle friendly, with option A featuring bike lanes on both sides of the street, with the other option only featuring southbound lanes. Stage 1 of the project starts from Deans Ave and will travel up Matapo Street where the project ends.
Now those street priority measures are to speed up the buses through the section of Riccarton Road. This is where the buses are delayed the most, so we're focusing on this as our first stage.
There's just under 2 more weeks until consultation is over, but the hope is building that traffic will speed up on the street once Riccarton Road's major refurbishment is complete. Jared McCulloch, CTV News. A Christchurch pizza chain has made a young student's chances of succeeding in the classroom a whole lot brighter, thanks to technology. Here's Marcus Gibbs.
Hard at work in the classroom, Max O'Connor's study made easier with the help of a new listening system.
What are you going to do with those two numbers, 140?
Young Max has an audio processing disorder, which means only some of the information received by his ears registers in his brain. But a new audio system is ensuring this 9-year-old hears everything in the classroom.
I was surprised because I heard it so clearly.
It's really important for children like Max to be able to get the big picture, and the big picture is about hearing every single word and every single consonant sound in the word that's being spoken.
Max is already in the 98th percentile for his IQ, and as he grows older, he's only going to get smarter. However, without this new technology, Max could only register 50% of what was said to him.
The trucks going past, the ground's moving, lawnmowers outside mowing the lawns, children playing outside because it's their PE time when you're in here working. There are a lot of distractions.
It's really hard to listen when the speaker wasn't there, because as soon as the teacher starts talking, you're like, what? What's going on? Okay, somebody's talking.
His teachers are calling for all schools to adopt the technology if they can.
Every single child in the country would benefit from this system because every child will hear better.
Well, it was really hard to hear because a lot of people would just talk.
Max trialled the new audio system last year for 6 weeks, but it was too expensive for the school to buy. However, thanks to a donation from the House Pizzas Satan's Little Helper initiative, he and his Hoonhay school classmates are benefiting from the new sound system.
I think Max is great. He's really bubbly, and most importantly, he's really benefiting from the hearing system they've got in here now, and seems to be really thriving. So yeah, we're stoked with that.
The new device is dramatically increasing Max's listening comprehension, and it's helping his classmates too.
It's really useful for me and for all the other children in the classroom. So if I hear 50% of it, I will hear most or all of it, so I don't have to rely on everybody else to tell me.
Max will be using the audio system during his years at school as it helps him achieve his goals of one day becoming a successful inventor. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, still to come, a group of Canterburyans are helping out with communities hit by the Nepal earthquake.
Hi, I'm Chris Lynch. Join me every Monday at 8:30 on CTV as we discuss the issues affecting you, your family and everything to do with Canterbury. That's CTV 8:30 right here.
Computer not working? Replace or repair? DIY or get a technician? Looking for parts? Thinking of upgrading? Need accessories? You've got questions, we've got answers. Global PC.
The preparation, the devotion, the fearlessness, the intensity. Runway model management. First impressions are everything.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. Well, a group of adventurers from Geraldine have formed a close bond with a remote community in Nepal. And after the devastating earthquake last month, they have a unique insight into what's going on there. Joining me now is Mark Stocker from Forgotten Sherpas. And Mark, thank you so much for joining me today. You've come all the way from Geraldine, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic. Yes. Let's just talk about what Forgotten Sherpas is and what it actually does.
Forgotten Sherpas of Nepal Trust is a trust that was established in 2013. And how it began was some years ago, our New Zealand leader, George Hunter, who was the founder of our Forgotten Sherpas Trust, travelled to Nepal early in the 2000s to trek, and he met with our guide, Nima Sherpa, and Nima asked if he would be able to help him with some project work in his village. And Nima said from there he would like to have some solar lighting put into his village. So George came back to New Zealand, spoke with Tramping Club members. The Civil War broke out, of course, so nobody was able to get into Nepal at that point. Yep. But then about 2008-09, we started raising money. So a group of us from the Tramping Club who were really keen to go, we raised $15,000. Wow. And about 10 of us travelled to Nepal and we installed solar lighting. From there, we identified the needs for a clean water supply. We're working in a very remote area, a long way away from the main trekking routes.
There's a lot more things you identified as we know.
Absolutely. We're a long way away from the main trekking routes. Further north, we're working in an area outside the Solakombu district called Okaldunga. So we identified the need to improve the water supply. So we raised money once again to put in a clean water supply in 2012. So a group went over in 2012 to install the clean water supply and with tap stands. Yep. So 10 village houses have taps now that they can turn on and clean water.
So there's a lot of projects obviously you guys have done as well. So obviously it started off as one with the solar power but moved on from there. Just get a bit of a brief insight as well. What other projects you guys have done as well? Is there other ones you've done?
Yes, we have. I returned in 2011 with a teacher. I have a health background, and so from there we identified a lot of issues with health issues. For example, one little girl had walked 4 hours from another remote area on foot. The only way you can get into this area, of course, is on foot. She had impaled her foot on bamboo. Wow. And that had happened 6 weeks prior to her visiting. She knew that there was health support in the village. So she came, we were able to help her, and I saw her last year when I returned, and she's a healthy young lass now, which was absolutely marvellous. So we have now set up what we call as the Dali Memorial Health Service, which has been named after Nima, our Sherpa guide's sister, who died giving birth on a remote track.
So there, as I was saying before, there's a lot of things we've achieved, and of course, I guess now it makes it even more, more of a challenge, with obviously the earthquake that's just happened over there. What's happening now? What's the focus for you guys now?
So now, because we're supporting an area of 2,500 people in 25 villages, so we've set up a health service with trained nurses that walk from village to village, and they through the support of Dr. Mingma Sherpa. So now our priorities are, our area has been hit severely, and we are now, with the wonderful support of our Geraldine Temuka Rotary Group, raising money to buy shelter boxes, which are tents, and they come with a lot of provisions, cooker, the sleeping gear, utensils, knives and forks,
so there's
pots.
been a lot of organisation, a lot of plans going to get all this sorted and stuff. So yeah, what's it like in the? So you're saying it's quite serious there at the moment. Just give a bit of a rundown. What it's actually like there. What is it? All the houses disappeared. What's all happening?
We know from one of our villages, Dorikaka, which has one of our health clinic setups, we have lost 10 men from that village. They were away further north during the trekking season because often these are subsistence farmers that we're talking about. They live off the land, these people, very poor. Yep. So often the men leave the villages and go and work within the trekking season.
Right, I see.
And we've lost 10 from one village in the Langtang area, which has been hit really hard.
Just really quickly, what can some of the people in Canterbury do to help? What kind of things can they do?
Well, what we are looking for is to raise money to buy supplies to help these people. Particularly, we know that there's been many houses that have been destroyed. The houses that are not destroyed have been, had damage, considerable damage. They're very frightened of going into their houses due to the situation with the aftershocks. Yeah. So we're raising money to provide shelter because they're building bamboo shacks, and of course the monsoon season is coming, so that's another worry.
So it's getting all prepared for that.
Yes,
so
yes.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for coming today. I really do appreciate it. Thanks so much. That's Mark Stocker from Forgotten Sherpas. And still with international support there, 30 students will spend the next 20 days working with New Zealand business leaders to change the lives of a struggling community in the Philippines. Marcus Gibbs reports.
Devastated by 2 recent typhoons, the Philippines is hurting. However, a 21-day challenge for 30 students could soon help to change the lives of a Filipino community for the better.
So it is really to bring together teams of students from across all the faculty at the university with business mentors to work together on a project that will benefit a community, an international community.
The students will work within 6 teams, along with the support of 30 industry leaders to help solve issues.
In this case, a small village in the Philippines that has been hit by Typhoon Haiyan and Typhoon Hagupit last year.
The typhoon destroyed homes and left thousands of people dead.
The Philippines is composed of 7,107 islands. So you can see that when this western area, Western Visayas area, the central area, when it got hit by the, that perfect storm, really was kind of like a washing machine that just affected a lot of these little islands.
Months on from the disaster, the village is still in need of help.
The fishing boats, which is their main source of livelihood, was all, decimated, and so this village has really been waiting for help.
Former president of the Student Volunteer Army and Fentleton Waimari Community Board member Bridget Williams is one of the 30 students who have been selected to take up the challenge. The winning team of students will receive an all-expenses-paid trip to help implement their solution in the community, spending just $5,000 New Zealand dollars to make a difference. The university's Linda Cruz has been carrying out humanitarian aid work in several natural disaster areas around the world. She'll help guide the winning team once they reach the Philippines. Cruz has worked in this community since Typhoon Haiyan, and the university wants to build on the work she's done over there.
So that we have students that are willing and able to look at what they can change in the world. And in this case, it's a case of social entrepreneurship.
This challenge is a new initiative, and for the first time it will involve students selected campus-wide. This means the teams will be diverse and should come up with some amazing ideas.
Because if you put all, management or entrepreneurship or marketing students together, they'll be thinking about marketing. Whereas if you bring an engineer, a scientist, a lawyer, a geologist into that, then the collective skill set and knowledge that they have together is going to make the project even more desirable.
The teams have 21 days to complete their business plan. The 2 finalists will have 15 minutes to present to the panel of judges before the winning team is chosen and announced. That team will then travel to the Philippines to bring their project to life. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, still to come here on CTV News, the Crusaders get training for this weekend's match and your region's weather.
With all the latest innovations in the world of technology, Shift has everything you need to stay informed and in the know. Shift, 2:15 on Monday, right here on CTV.
Opus is recreating the heart of Canterbury. From large-scale projects to commercial buildings. Your design, your vision. Opus.
Colour in your life. Colour Steel, the roof of New Zealand.
Diversity. No deposit. Instant finance. Convenience. Open 7 days. Austin Motor Company.
Drive It showcases the new arrivals to the motoring world, comparing and testing the latest models to discover which one is the best. Drive It, Sunday afternoons at 2:30, only on CTV.
And welcome back to CTV News. Well, the Crusaders faced a major setback at the weekend after losing to the Hurricanes 29-23. But Dan Carter isn't letting that loss dampen his spirits before playing his last guaranteed Crusaders game in Christchurch against the Reds.
A disappointing game for the Canterbury fans in the crowd, putting the possibility of a Crusaders playoff spot in doubt. This weekend's game against the Reds is more than likely going to be Dan Carter's last at AMI Stadium, with the All Black France bound following the Rugby World Cup.
It's going to be tough. I think we have the best fans, in the world, and it's a big part of me enjoying playing here is going out there and playing at home and in front of my fans.
The All Blacks are set to face Argentina in Christchurch this July, so Carter may still end up playing at AMI Stadium one more time. But this could be his last with the Crusaders, and after 13 seasons with the franchise, it's time for Carter to move on.
I think this could potentially be the last games of doing that. It's going to be pretty emotional, but an exciting game.
All Blacks captain Richie McCaw is planning to retire following the Rugby World Cup, while Colin Slade and Tom Taylor are also set to join French clubs.
Dan and Richie, who have been a part of this environment for the last sort of 12, 13 years, it'd be nice to have a great farewell for them and put in a performance that we can all be proud of and send them off in the right way.
Carter says there's still confidence in the camp of a playoff berth before his departure.
The Hurricanes are a quality side, and they really punished us with any opportunity they got. So it's the reason that they're sitting at the top of the table. But we've worked just a couple of little minor details that we think that we can improve. But there was definitely a move in the right direction last weekend.
The loss was tough to take, and as they sit ninth on the table, the odds aren't in the Crusaders' favour. But Carter says his team is trying to keep positive.
If we can go out there and keep performing, well and keep improving, we've still got a chance. Anything's possible.
Reflecting on Dan Carter's time with the Crusaders, Aaron Major remembers Carter's first pre-season game in 2003 against the Waratahs in Newcastle.
And he was playing at 12 and I played 10 that day, and he scored 2 tries. Obviously I was the incumbent 12 for the Crusaders and the All Blacks at the time, so it certainly gave me a bit of a shake-up first time out.
Carter says the Crusaders franchise is still in good stead.
Beauty is, no matter what happens, with guys coming and leaving, there's always going to be a core foundation of people that will continue this legacy.
He's proud of his time with the Crusaders and is excited for his next career step in professional rugby. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Time now for your region's weather.
Good evening, Canterbury. Let's take a look at today's highs. Down in Timaru, you had a warm high of 21 today. Temuka and Geraldine slightly cooler on 20 degrees. Ashburton and Methven, you are also both on 20 degrees. Rakaia, a lovely 21 for you. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, 19 for your Tuesday. Lincoln and Christchurch reached a high of 19 degrees. Over the hill in Akaroa, 18 for your Tuesday. Looking to the Waimakariri area now, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley all on 20 degrees. Taking a look further inland, Colverdon, Hammer Springs and Cheviot all on 21. Kaikoura, 17 degrees for your Tuesday. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather now, Timaru, thick high cloud and some rain at times, strong mild northerly winds decreasing. Tonight's low 11, tomorrow's high 18. Ashburton, mild but damp for your Wednesday with a brisk northerly wind. Tonight's low getting down to 11, tomorrow's high 18. Taking a look at the Garden City, gusty mild northerlies could be strong at times, some rain at times as well. Tonight's low 11, tomorrow's high 18. Kaikoura, thick high cloud and some rain at times, strong mild northerly winds decreasing. Tonight's low 11, tomorrow's high 18. Taking a look at other areas around the region now, Temuka and Geraldine, rain with a high of 18. Methven and Rakaia, you can also expect rain and 18 degrees. Darfield, Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln, rain for you also, and a high of 18. Over the hill in Akaroa, 18 degrees for you. Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, 18 for your Wednesday. Colverdon, Hammer Springs and Cheviot, rain with 18 degrees. Looking ahead for Canterbury, mostly fine and sunny on Thursday with mild temperatures and moderate northeasterlies. Mild northerlies freshening and high cloud increasing on Friday. Fine and mild on Saturday and Sunday with high cloud increasing and moderate northerly winds. Fine at first on Monday with northerlies. A period of cooler southwesterlies will bring some showers later in the day. And that is your weather update for Tuesday.
Thanks for that, Mercy. And that is CTV News for Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jared McCulloch. Good evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.